Hello, welcome to today's economics class. My name is Emmanuel Wido. In today's class, we are looking at the theme Financial Institutions and Regulatory Agencies and the topic Types of Financial Institutions and Their Functions, Part 1. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the term money market, state some features of the money market, list the advantages and disadvantages of the money market, list the institutions involved in the money market, and lastly, explain the various instruments used in the money market. Many times, the funds required by government and business investors in establishing their various businesses are usually huge. This forces them into borrowing, no matter how huge the interest may be. There are two institutions under the financial market where such huge capital can be gotten from. These are the money market and the capital market. In today's class, we will be looking at the money market, and in subsequent classes, we will consider the capital market. So let's go on by looking at the money market. The money market refers to the section of the financial market where financial instruments with high liquidity and short-term maturities are traded. So in the money market, we are looking at places where you can borrow short-term loans, not long-term loans. Loans you can pay between the period of 1 to 5 years. Almost all financial institutions are involved in this type of market. So most financial institutions engage in the provision of short-term loans. So what are the features of the money market? The first of them is that it is a market where large numbers of financial assets or instruments are traded. So you trade a lot of financial instruments such as money and money-like articles in the financial market. Now, it is not a single market. Rather, it is a collective name for institutions that deal with money and near money items. So we cannot say that the money market is a single market. No, it is just a collective name for a number of financial institutions. So we group all of them together and call them the money market. Thirdly, the money market consists of call and notice market, commercial market, treasury bill market, etc. So those are some of the institutions that make up the money market. You also have insurance falling into that. This market does not have a fixed geographical location. We can't pick a place and call that a money market because they are scattered all over the place. We cannot tell you that when you go to Enugu now, that's the only place you can see the money market. No, that's not possible. And lastly, it is a financial market for short-term loans. What are the advantages of money market? The first advantage of money market is that it enables potential business owners meet up with their short-term financial needs by giving them an opportunity to borrow from the market. So when these potential business owners have a need for short-term loans, they can easily run into the money market and access such loans. Secondly, money invested or saved in the money market appreciates. This is to say that it yields extra income in the form of interest. So when you invest your money into the money market, the ideal thing is that such amount of money invested should yield interest. Thirdly, it gives room for those who have excess funds to save and secure their funds rather than keeping them at home. So the money market can also be regarded as a place where you can secure your money from theft. The fourth advantage is that funds invested or saved in the money market can be recalled or withdrawn at short notice for other purposes. So you can invest your money in the money market, and within 2 days, you have a need for the money. You're free to walk back to the money market and withdraw your money. That's what the money market allows. And lastly, for the advantages, money market promotes economic development and growth. The income the money market gathers is used by government and other establishments to provide basic amenities for the society. So the money market also engages in investment that will yield profit. It is from the profits they get that they are able to give you interest when you save with them. What are the disadvantages of the money market? The first of them is that due to inflation rate, the purchasing power of money depreciates. As such, the investors will be losing rather than gaining as a result of an increase in the standard of living. So you save your money in 2015, 10,000 naira. And what you could buy with 10,000 naira, when you're withdrawing the 10,000 naira in 2019, you cannot purchase that. It means that the money, the 10,000 naira in 2019 is not equivalent to the 10,000 naira in 2015 when you deposited your money. So you see that it would have been better you had spent the money then than spend it now. Secondly, although money markets are generally safe and invest only in government securities, such investments, however, may carry additional risk which might not be a smart idea. So the government goes to the money market sourcing for loans. They want to build a national airline. A brilliant idea, but what if it fails? It means that those who invested in the money market are at risk of losing their money. And lastly, for this class, investment in the money market yields only about 2 to 3% interest. This means that the investors might be missing out on the opportunity of better rates of return in terms of interest. So you could decide to invest in the money market, yet there are other institutions that provide you with a better interest rate. So you see that you're losing out on those interest rates by just investing in the money market. Let's go on by looking at institutions that are involved in the money market. For this class, we will consider 6 of them: the central bank, the commercial banks, discount houses, insurance firms, acceptance houses, and financial houses. So let's go with the first one, the central bank. This is the apex bank of every nation, involved in provision of resources, in this case money, to both money and capital markets. So they coordinate the money market and the capital market. As a lender of last resort, it provides aid to other institutions in the money market who are unable to meet their financial obligations. So let's assume that some institutions in the money market are liquidating. By that I mean they are folding up. The Apex Bank has the resources to ensure that these banks, institutions, insurance firms do not fold up completely because of those who have invested in them. So they release capital to help them grow back to the status they were before they experience some obstacles. The commercial banks. These banks play a major role in the money market in that they are involved directly in the provision of money to potential business owners. So you cannot go to the central bank even when they are part of the money market. You can't go to them and say, okay, I need a loan. But you can walk up to any of the commercial banks and get a short-term loan. What are discount houses? These are financial institutions who offer discounts by buying and selling treasury bills and exchange bills. These are institutions who sell treasury bills at a discounted rate in order to get funds to help government or aid government in the development of the nation. Insurance firms. Now, these firms are involved in money markets because they collect money from their clients in the form of premium in order to provide security for life and property. So, this is you saying you want to secure your property from fire and you buy an insurance policy. You're actually paying for that insurance policy. The money they get from your payment is reinvested or used for other purposes, such as lending, borrowing, and engaging in development strides. Going further, acceptance houses. These are institutions who make funds available specifically for international trade. They do this by lending their weight on bills used in settling debt. So you have a number of foreign currencies and you're going for an international trade deal. Nobody has the time to start counting your notes in a business setting to know if it is up to the amount quoted. But when they find a signature of an acceptance house on it, certifying that the bills they are seeing are original, they retrieve them, they take them and agree to the fact that those bills are original. Now, that makes business transactions easy. Let's proceed by looking at financial houses. These financial houses are formed purposely for the financing of hired purchase deals. What are hired purchase deals? You want to buy a car and you don't have the exact amount to purchase the car. Financial houses will help you do that. They buy it for you, they give it to you, and you pay a little bit higher than the cost price of the car. They only do this for durable goods. This is because these goods do not get bad easily. They can't do it for perishable goods such as agricultural produce. Going further in this class, let's look at instruments used in the money market. For this class, we are considering 5 of them: call money, treasury bills, commercial bills, bills of exchange, and certificates of deposit. So let's start with the first one, call money. The money borrowed or lent on demand for short period, which is usually 1 day. Now, Sundays and other holidays are excluded when you're dealing with call money. This phenomenon is common with the banks, the commercial banks, in a situation where they experience high withdrawal rates in a certain day. They could call money from their fellow counterparts, maybe another commercial bank. Hello, do you have up to this amount? And then such money is borrowed to them for the weekdays. That's from Monday to Friday, not on Saturday, not on Sunday. So that's only possible between Monday and Friday, just to ensure that they are in business when people come to withdraw their money. Let's go on to treasury bills. Treasury bills are also called zero coupon bonds. They are issued at a price lower than their face value. Now, this is government issuing their treasury bill lower than the exact amount just to encourage you to buy so that they can get funds to build good schools, hospitals, good roads, potable water, etc. Commercial bills. Trade bills or accommodation bills are bills drawn by one business firm on another. They are common instruments used in credit purchase and sale. Basically, they have short-term maturity period, usually 90 days. So any business bill, commercial bill, in which you're supposed to pay within 90 days can be captured under commercial bills. This is a promissory note that shows the acceptance of indebtedness by a debtor to his or her creditor. This is you owing someone. But since you do not have the amount to pay the person currently, you write a note accepting that you are owing this fellow and you will pay the fellow at a certain date. Now, the fellow can use that note, since it's a promissory note, to get access to funds, judging that you have agreed that you're owing the person. So if the person does not pay, they can come to you and collect the money you're owing the individual. That's what bill of exchange talks about. Certificate of deposit, which is the last instrument used in the money market for this class. Now, it is an agreement of deposit money for a fixed period with a bank that will pay the depositor an interest over time. So this is an investor and a financial institution, in this case a bank, coming into an agreement that you're a big, huge businessman with a lot of income. Why not be depositing in our bank for over, let's say, 25 years? You're just depositing, you're not withdrawing. So at the end of 25 years, we give you the accumulated interest and your lump sum. That's all the capital you have invested in the bank. With that, as you keep investing, they issue you a certificate of deposit, so that when you go to probably get a loan from somewhere else, you can tell them that, yes, I am investing in this financial institution. I have this, and this amount of deposits in this financial institution. So your certificate of deposit shows you the number of times you have deposited in this bank and how much you have actually sent to the bank in form of deposit. Having said all this, let's take a quick summary of what we have learned in our class today. In today's class, we learned that the financial market is a place where money and near money instruments exchange hands between lenders and borrowers. We also learned that financial market is broadly categorized into two, and they include the money market and the capital market. Next, we learned that money market is the market for the borrowing and lending of short-term loans that helps all forms of business transactions. Furthermore, we're able to understand that some common instruments of money market are the call money, treasury bills, and bills of exchange. Next, we learned that some institutions involved in the money market are the central bank, the commercial banks, the discount houses, and the financial houses. We also understood that money markets promotes economic growth and development. And lastly, we stated that some of the investments engaged in by the money market institutions may pose additional risk and may even lead to investors losing their money. At this point, I would like to test your knowledge to know how much you have learned in our class today. Are you ready for today's test questions? Let's check them out. Question 1. Dash is a place where money and near money instruments exchange hands between lenders and borrowers. A. Money market. B. Bank. Or C. Financial market. The right answer to this question is option C, the financial market. Question number 2. The money market is controlled by dash. A. The First Bank. B. The Central Bank. C. The World Bank. The right answer to this question is option B. The money market is always controlled by the central bank of any nation. This is where we draw the curtain in our class today. I hope by now you can define the money market, list the institutions involved in the money market, and the instruments used in the money market. Until I see you again in another interesting economics class. Bye-bye.